Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here, we're going to get into a Raiders-Texans Week 7 preview. I'll also be breaking down some major Raiders injury news, but I wouldn't be able to do today's show if it wasn't for our awesome sponsor, ButcherBox. Go to butcherbox.com/NFL Daily because the first turkey, it's free with your very first order. I don't know about y'all, the holidays, stressful time. And you're going to get a 10 to 14-pound turkey on the house. All you got to do, first-time buyers, butcherbox.com/NFL Daily. That link's going to be for you guys in the comments and in the description of today's video. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to give you guys a Week 7 preview, and I'm going to give you my 5 keys to victory for the Silver and Black to take down Houston. I want at the end of that game, Houston and all the Texans fans, there's a problem. And you know what that big problem is going to be in Week 1? Week 7. I'll tell you about it in just a second. But we're going to be live for our Raiders-Texans game. We're going to get the party started at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. If you plan on hanging out with Jeremy Chuggs and I for our Sunday watch party, I want you to spam Real One for life because I know you're a real one, and I appreciate that. So let's get into these 5 keys to victory up against the Texans. The biggest one, and this really should not be much of a surprise. Well, the phrasing of it is. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Baywatch Josh Jacobs. Some of you are like, what are you talking about? Baywatch Josh Jacobs. Yeah, I want to see Josh Jacobs running up and down the field so much that when I watch the highlights, I can put it in slow motion. Just let Josh Jacobs run wild versus the Texans. Now, at first I saw this picture and I was like, holy shit, this is my dad. But then I realized, you know what? Watch this. I want Josh Jacobs, Baywatch style, running all over the Houston Texans, all over that defense in Allegiant Stadium. This dude better get 40 freaking carries. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but you know what? I bet you if that happened, it would be very, very good things for the Las Vegas Raiders because he's had some incredible numbers this season. 49 carries, 298 rushing yards. He's averaging 6.1 yards per carry, and he's got 3 touchdowns over his last 2 games. I mean, this dude has been an absolute monster. He's been the big-time reason why the Raiders have been pounding the rock. I love the atmosphere that he's bringing. I love the energy that he's bringing to this offense. And when you consider the fact that on an average game per basis standpoint, he's averaging over those past 2 games 24.5 yards per carry, 149 yards a game, 1.5 touchdowns. If Josh McDaniels, Bo Hardegree, Mick Lombardi, hell, Derek Carr, if they don't go together and say, this is what we need to do. We got to get this man the football. And I'm hoping that if somebody comes across, watches this show, I'm hoping that somebody shares this on social media because I'm going to be at the Raiders and I want to know what you guys have to say. How many touches will Josh Jacobs get against the Houston Texans? Touches are carries and receptions. To me personally, the magic number is 30. I want Jacobs, the way he's been running the football, 30 touches. I don't care how he gets it. 30 touches is what I want from that man, number 28. Let's go to the next key to victory up against the Houston Texans. You got to have your passing game ready. And today I was going through some numbers. I went back, I watched some tape. I actually couldn't believe how good the Texans secondary is. And I was like, the Texans, they stink. The secondary's actually been kind of sneaky good. I mean, listen to these numbers here. The Texans have allowed only 4 passing touchdowns this season. But Mitch, they had a bye last week. Okay, you're right. 5 weeks, 4 passing touchdowns. That's pretty good. I mean, that's really good. It's top 5 in the NFL right now. And for Derek Carr this season, 8 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Hell, the Texans have 6 interceptions on defense, only giving up 4. So Derek needs to have a solid game. He needs to bring his A game. I don't know if he needs to play out of his mind. He just needs to play safe football because if the Raiders don't turn it over, you're going to beat Houston at home. Here's another kind of interesting stat, though, about that Texans secondary. The Texans have allowed only 1 receiving touchdown to a wide receiver this season. The reason why that makes my eyes pop out a little bit is because, let's face it, the only person that's really been scoring touchdowns through the air has been Davante Adams. In fact, he's the only guy that has over 2. Adams this season, 5 receiving touchdowns. Then it's Mack Hollins has got 1. Darren Waller, we'll talk about him in a second, but it's not looking good for 83. And then Brandon Bolden. Like, if it hasn't been Davante Adams, the Raiders haven't been scoring a touchdown through the air. So the fact that Houston has allowed only 1 receiving touchdown to a wide receiver this year, not going to lie, that made my eyes pop out a little bit, and it's why I said that the passing game needs to be efficient. Now, also during the holidays when you're cooking, especially during Thanksgiving, you got to be efficient. And ButcherBox is here, y'all, to help you guys out just a little bit. So go to butcherbox.com/NFL Daily, because I get it. The holidays can be stressful. I can still remember the days when my mom was making all this food for Thanksgiving, and one of the things that she'd always worry about is, oh, where the heck am I going to find a turkey? Well, here's the cool part. If you're a first-time buyer, not only are we going to hook you guys up with some high-quality meats, but you're going to get a 10 to 14-pound turkey for free. Now, this is going to be for first-time ButcherBox users only, so butcherbox.com/NFL Daily. Free turkey with your first order. Again, it's up to 10 to 14 pounds. Personally, I've had ButcherBox now for a good month. I love the food that they bring to my table. I love the food that they give me. Why? It's simple, it's easy, it's high quality, and if you're somebody like me where I started doing a lot more research of where certain food comes from, I try to be a little bit smarter, and honestly, man, I love what ButcherBox brings to the table. So it's butcherbox.com/NFL Daily. High quality meat. Take advantage of this deal right now. Free turkey with your first order. Let's go to the next key to victory here. Can Maxx Crosby, for the love of everything good in my life, in your life, get some help? Just get some help, man. That's all we need, especially on that defensive line. When you look at the Raiders sack leaders, they got 8 this year. Crosby has 6 of them. Denzel Perryman has 1. The other guy, Nate Hobbs, he's on the IR. He broke his left hand. He's out the next 4 weeks. So can Maxx freaking Crosby get some help on the defensive line? Because he's not only dominating the sack numbers, he's dominating tackles for loss. Yes, Crosby's one of the best in the biz. I've made videos before saying that he deserves to be Defensive Player of the Year. If the Raiders were winning and had a winning record, he'd be the front runner. And if you believe that, type DPOY right now in the comments. But Perriman's got 4. Hobbs, 3. Remember, though, he's out. Bilal Nichols, Chandler Jones. Somebody else besides Maxx Crosby needs to start showing up. So here's your time. Put somebody on the spot. Call somebody out to step up. One of the things that I love about my family when I was growing up, and I totally attest to this, it's okay to look at somebody and tell them you need to pick it up. Hell, I can still remember the days when I was playing basketball and my dad's on the sidelines. This was his sign to me. Pick it up. Pick it up. You got to pick it up. Well, guess what? Chandler Jones, you got to pick it up in this game. Divine Diablo, you got to pick it up. Jayon Brown, if you're playing, pick it up. Sam Webb, pick it up. This entire defense needs to step the hell up. Let's go to the next key to victory here for the Silver and Black. Dameon Pierce, got to slow him down. He's been a hell of a rookie running back this season. But the biggest reason why you got to slow him down is because that's their offense right now. Their offense is the rookie running back out of Florida, Dameon Pierce, who's got 86 carries, 412 yards, 3 touchdowns. I get it. They have some other skill position players. You all know that I like Brandon Cooks, but here's the thing. If you turn this game into a one-dimensional game and you make this guy, Stegosaurus, long neck, try to beat you, you're going to be in a good spot here. Yeah, I get it. He's played actually a lot better than what I thought he was going to play in the NFL. But I don't think that he can beat you. So for that reason, you take Dameon Pierce out of the game, make Davis Mills beat you. You do that, winning. Let's go to the last one here. Play and coach for 60 minutes. How many times have we said this one on this show, right? Either the Raiders had a good first half, crumbled in the second. Had a good second half, didn't play well in the first half. Against the Chiefs, they played probably 58 minutes. Pretty freaking solid. Then Josh McDaniels outsmarted himself. Bad play calling. I don't know if I got to call up the play 60 kid. I don't know if Cam Newton needs to give his old head coach or offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, a call. But I want to see a whole 60 minutes of us actually playing a complete game. Coaching staff, offense, defense. I get it. Mitch, it's only the Houston Texans. If you sleep on an opponent, you're going to get bit in the ass. You will. In the NFL, if you walk into a week thinking that you're going to win, what ends up happening? You go to Atlanta, you lose 43-6 against clearly a team that's not better than you. I have watched this team for a long time. Hell, 34-3 loss to the Jets. I have watched this team for a very long time to know that if they try to sleepwalk into a week because, oh, that team's not as good as us, you're going to lose. So I want you to play 60 like the play 60 kid who's honestly probably as old as me now. But here's the thing, man. That's what you need to do in order to win this game. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into some injury news versus the Texans because, let's face it, we gotta get into it. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened during practice that I know y'all are probably wondering what the hell is going on, and I'm going to get into that injury news here in just a second. But friendly reminder that we also make videos over on Locals as well. Some of the videos that I made this week, Raiders trade targets. I put 9 names, realistic names that I think you guys could look at. What about trading for Nelson Agholor? There was a report that came out that the Silver and Black could be looking at a wide receiver. Everyone was like, oh, that's crazy. Jeremy Fowler threw out the name Agholor, and I said this. I said, that could be bad news for Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow. We'll talk about those guys in a second. 9 realistic Raiders trade targets. On top of that, every single week, we do an NFL Pick'em Challenge. So whoever wins, we give you a special shout-out on the Raiders Report, and I'm still waiting for my picture over on Local so I can put it up here. But if you want to join an awesome community, which I just saw Buddy Bear join this week, hey, RaidersReport.locals.com, scan that QR code. It's for diehard Raider fans only that are just looking for some extra content there. Let's get into now some of these injury news here. First one is Darren Waller. Darren Waller did not practice on Wednesday. He did not practice on Thursday. And according to Jim Trotter, he said he talked to Waller, and Waller said it's not likely that he plays against the Texans. So get ready. It's more than likely you are not going to have Darren Waller up against the Houston Texans on Week 7. Just get ready. It's not looking good for him. Another injury update here is Hunter Renfrow, and this one scares the hell out of me. Missed Wednesday's practice Wednesday, excuse me. That's on me. Practice Wednesday. And then he showed up on the injury report on Thursday with a hip. Raider fans and hips, man, hip injuries are scary. This does not look like a good sign. Now, yeah, you added Albert Wilson. You don't have Hunter Renfrow. You don't have Darren Waller against this Houston secondary, which, again, is pretty good secondary. Scares me a little bit. More injury updates here. Jayon Brown. He was a limited participant on practice. Hopefully, he's going to be able to go. You want to have as much linebacker depth as you possibly can have, especially with a Houston team that's not afraid to use their tight ends. They're not great, but they're going to use them. And they're also going to try to run the football. Another injury update here. Mack Hollins. I've been told that the plan is, or the Raiders expect him to be able to lace him up and play. The fact that he's still injured, okay, that means you might not have Mack Hollins, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller. The thing that scares me with that is that's 3 players that you would rely on, and if they're not able to practice, not a good sign. Here's good-ish news. Foster Moreau, from what I understand, looks like he's run around the football field pretty solid, and the Raiders do fully anticipate that he's going to be able to play up against Houston. So you're not going to have Darren Waller. At least there's like a 90% chance that you're not going to have Waller. And there might be a chance you don't even have Hunter Renfrow, which means bigger game for Davante Adams. Get ready for Foster Moreau. Jesper Horsted, time to step up. And you better run the ball with Josh Jacobs. So when you look at these odds in terms of when I am filming this video, the over-under in this game is at 45.5 points in the Raiders. 7.5-point favorites at home. The Raiders should win this game. We believe that. I believe that. You believe that. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen. And I want to know from everyone that comes across this video, predict the score. You're going to get Texans fans in our comments. I'm going to tell you right now, all I want you to do is if you see a Texans comment, reply to them. Say, go Raiders, LV, whatever you need to do. But I do want to know your prediction for Las Vegas Raiders at home against the Houston Texans. Before I wrap up today's show, here one more time are my keys to victory. And the only way that the Raiders are going to win is if Josh Jacobs runs Baywatch style. And I'm talking, I want him to run so much that you're like, I've seen this on a credits on a show. Maybe you wish it was Pamela Anderson, but you know what? I love me some Josh Jacobs. Got to get the passing game ready. Davante, Derek Carr, Josh McDaniels looking at you. Somebody else help out Maxx Crosby on the defense. Slow down the Texans running back Dameon Pierce. And you better be ready to play for an entire 60 minutes because if you don't, you might get snake bitten and that is not what we are looking for. Major shout out to everyone. Jeremy and I, we're going to see you guys for our watch party on Sunday against Houston. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn on those notifications. And if you made it this far in the video, I hope you spammed Real One for Life.